Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Falcor. You can get the blueprint for the Falcor from the market, and it's on the more expensive side of things because on top of a fully built forma, you will also need 5 field drawn, 8,500 alloy plates, 1,650 circuits, as well as some credits. The Falcor is a Mastery Rank 8 glyph that does primarily slash damage, with the second highest damage type being electricity, which is then followed by impact and finally puncture. The Falcor comes with very low crit chance and below average crit multi, but its status chance is pretty good and its attack speed is somewhat standard at 0.833. Now, since it is a glaive, you can throw it of course, and with the Falcor in particular, a partially charged throw has a forced impact proc, a fully charged throw has a forced electricity proc, and the explosion from a heavy attack also has a forced electricity proc. Now, Falcor nowadays is one of the glaives where I actually don't run a throwing build at all. I just run a straight up light attack build that focuses on status. It is a little bit different than your standard slash build though, because the weapon has a lot of base electricity, so we need to get a ton of viral and slash to proc those more than electricity, which is why I'm running 2 fully ranked dual stat mods for the viral, and then as a result of that, I need to run Carnis, Mandible and Buskill to get slash to be the highest damage type. This isn't necessarily bad though, because you get more upfront damage than on a lot of other status-based setups, and you also have like 108% status to begin with before Weeping Wounds kicks in, and this makes the weapon feel significantly better at lower combo. This build just straight up performs the best. The throwing builds are just not all that great because the weapon doesn't have a ton of damage to begin with, and it's also lacking crits, so a bouncing rebound build is not all that great, and even a heavy attack return build isn't all that great because the damage is highly unreliable since the forced proc is electricity here, so it all depends on whether or not you proc slash. Also, and I don't know if this is just me or if it's actually true, but the Falcor seems to bounce around and fly about for much longer than the other glaives when you throw it, so when you do a rebound build you can throw it and then go make a cup of tea while you wait for it to return. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though, especially if you want to dual wield it with a one-handed secondary, so you can use the secondary while the glaive is bouncing around. The Falcor for me has 2 major downsides. Number 1, there's just too much electricity on it and it kind of gets in the way most of the time. There are a few instances where you might want to use it, like if you want the crowd control from it for some reason, or you're going for like radiation or corrosive, then it's good. And number 2, you can of course really feel the lack of crit on this thing. This of course diminishes the power of the light attack builds as well, but it mostly hurts the throwing builds. They just feel weak because there's already a delay with you throwing the glaive and then you have to wait for the slash to do damage because you can't do big crit, so you don't have any upfront damage. It just doesn't feel great. So I'm actually not gonna recommend this one outside of the mastery. It is one of my least favorite glaives in the game. It just doesn't feel particularly good, even though it can do some damage with the right build. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always guys, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.